Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. National ACT and New Zealand First revealed the details of their coalition agreements in forming the new government recently, with the role of Deputy Prime Minister being shared across the term.
New Zealand First leader Winston Peters will be deputy for the first 18 months, with ACT leader David Seymour taking over the role for the rest of the three-year term. National holds 14 of the 20 cabinet spots, while ACT and New Zealand First each gain 3 positions around the cabinet table. A number of MPs will serve ministerial roles outside cabinet, 5 from National, 2 from ACT and 1 from New Zealand First. The 2 smaller parties also each gain a parliamentary under-secretary role. 2 MPs from the Otago Southland region have been given senior roles, although both are outside of cabinet. Invercargill MP Penny Simmons will be Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills, Disability Issues and Environment, plus Associate Minister for Social Development and Employment. Meanwhile, Lawrence Farmer and New Zealand First List MP Mark Patterson returns to Parliament as Minister for Rural Communities. Across the South today.
Christchurch netballers have been celebrating the move into a new purpose-built indoor sports complex, ending their days of playing outdoors in the cold winter temperatures. The Christchurch Netball Centre officially opened over the weekend and it's set to become the South Island's premier sport and recreation indoor venue.
These youngsters eager to put this new facility to the test. Crowds relish the opportunity to look inside Christchurch Netball Centre's brand new indoor sports complex during a community open day on Sunday. The purpose-built $16.5 million sports facility at Ngā Punawai Sports Hub will be available for use by all sporting codes, bringing years of work to an end.
It's been a long time coming. It was interesting. I was speaking to some of our life members here and they said 30 or 40 years ago they dreamed of having a facility like this. So you could say it's been many years in the making, but actually the build's gone really quickly and it started last year and finished on time.
Visitors got to see displays of a whole range of sports on offer at the new community venue. Despite the new facility, Houghton insists netball will continue its 100-year association with South Hagley Park. They'll work with the Christchurch City Council, who purchased the netball pavilion for use as a multicultural centre, to continue playing games on the courts.
We've still got the courts there, so we'll still have some netball options down at Hagley Park in winter, particularly for some of our junior grades. So we're sort of going to be across both Ngā Punawai and Hagley Park.
Houghton expects the use of the centre to ramp up in the new year, with it set to be in constant use day and night once the netball season kicks off in April. In Christchurch, the South today.
It's been more than 100 days since the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup wound up, with the tournament bringing football fans from across the globe to New Zealand and Australia. However, one Dunedin family-owned business has been left with a sour taste in their mouth after being worn down by payment delays for work they completed for the event.
Celebrations at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. This is a jubilant memory for many Dunedin football fans, but the competition may have forced Otago's grand format print out of business. The family-owned operation provided much of the signage for the Dunedin FIFA Women's World Cup matches. However, owners Fiona and Manu Hunter say they're owed $200,000 by UK-based company CSM Live, which in turn was contracted to do work by FIFA. The couple were initially thrilled to secure the deal, but quickly realised the expectations were extreme.
They're working on a different time zone to us, so that she could be expected to get an email in at 3 o'clock in the morning and have to answer that and then have to process that and work through print for that.
Fiona says they need the money to pay their workers, and the lack of funds is wearing them down.
You didn't have all of the paperwork to say, okay, this is a PO number for this, because that's the only way you can get paid for the work.
In a brief statement, CSM Live said it's working to resolve supplier invoices, but Fiona admits it's been a humbling life experience.
If I was to go through the process again knowing what I know, I actually probably wouldn't take up as exciting as it is, I probably wouldn't work for CSM Live.
Fiona and Manu Hunter have had assurances from CSM Live that some of the $200,000 they're owed will be paid, but are still planning to wrap up their business around March next year. In Dunedin, the South today.
A world record has been claimed in Queenstown as an Australian daredevil took his motorbike to new heights. Robbie Madison decided the Nevis bungee jump wasn't scary enough, adding to his list of records by hurling himself off the platform while on his bike.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a motorbike free-falling 134 metres. Australian motorbike stunt performer Robbie Madison made a stop-off in Queenstown on Tuesday while on a tour of New Zealand. He was looking for a daredevil stunt in the region and decided to put his own twist on the Nevis bungee challenge by jumping off the platform while on his motorcycle.
He's like, I know those guys, I might be able to line something up. So phone call later, spoke to Henry, we were able to do a world's first.
The 42-year-old jumped off the country's highest bungee on a 50cc KTM motorbike, which, company AJ Hackett says, was their first moto bungee. But Madison insists he was never concerned for his safety.
But yeah, we're really comfortable that we've got this right. Safety's paramount for us. And we've been doing this for 40 years nearly, and we love getting people out there doing good stuff.
The more than 130-metre freefall claimed the Red Bull athlete a world record for the highest moto bungee jump.
Yeah, once we put the motorcycle on there, I started feeling at home, which was crazy. And when I pulled the backflip, it was, I just had to do it. You know, I got one shot at this. I gotta live more and few less.
Madison and other star riders have been on the Freestyle Kings tour. The performers are preparing to end the tour with a bang in Christchurch this weekend. In Queenstown, the South today.
Whaiakane still to come on Southern Newsweek. A Dunedin Animal Hospital has called in reinforcements to help save some feathered babies from a disease. And South Otago has been on display in more ways than one at one of the oldest AMP shows in the country. Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Dunedin Wildlife Hospital has called in some specialist reinforcements to help protect a group of endangered hoiho chicks. Staff have been doing all they can to save the tiny animals from an infectious bacterial disease, which has been running through colonies and nests across the country.
Good luck, little babies.
Tiny, fragile hoiho chicks in desperate need of constant care from these dedicated vets and nurses. The Dunedin Wildlife Hospital is battling to care for these yellow-eyed penguin chicks from the devastating impact of avian diphtheria. This bacterial infection causes injuries in their mouths, with the survival rate very low when left to treat it on their own. Senior vet nurse Angelina Martelli says it's the busiest time of the year for the hospital, leaving them with an immense amount of workload during this critical period.
Putting the washing on, cleaning syringes, drawing up new food, writing up their daily record sheets, checking all the chicks, and it's just a constant battle of keeping everything going, keeping it all running on time.
But the Wildlife Hospital has received plenty of backup, with around 20 specialist volunteers from across the country lending out a helping hand. Martelli has also been working to coordinate the volunteer effort since May, highlighting the importance of all their assistance.
We need to, recruit people to come and help us. As a team, there's only 5 of us, and so we couldn't do all this work without them.
The Dunedin Wildlife Hospital are also launching a campaign in support of the hoiho chicks conservation project, hoping to raise money to help cover the cost of looking after the endangered species. In Dunedin, the South today.
There were plenty of family fun activities to enjoy in South Otago over the weekend at one of the country's oldest AMP shows. The annual Balclutha event gives people the chance to experience a taste of rural life, showcasing what it means to be a true blue Kiwi.
Competitors digging up some coal and children enjoying the bouncy castles. They were among the activities on offer across the rows of stalls at this year's South Otago AMP show. The loud horns of Scottish bagpipes rang across the Balclutha showgrounds on Saturday, marking the opening of the 157th year of the event. Secretary Heather Dudfield was happy to see the large number of people turning up for this year's show.
It's a great event to bring the town and the country together so that people that aren't familiar with animals have a chance to come see them, pet them.
Dudfield admits planning the AMP show has become a lot harder each year and says local support is very important.
The cattle conveners and everyone here work really hard to make sure that everything's really good, prepared and organised for us when we get here.
Palmerston dairy farmer Katie Mears was among the many winners at the A&P show, her pedigree Jersey cow Philomena winning the Champion All Breeds cow, along with the Supreme Champion Dairy Animal Award. In Balclutha, the South Today.
A New Zealand celebrity chef has ditched the food for drinks as she launched a new craft beer with her husband. Nadia Lim and Carlos Baggery have been hard at work with a Wellington brewery to bring a sip of Central Otago to people's taste buds.
A glass full of the future, as Royalburn Station's Carlos Baggery makes a toast to a soon-to-be-launched Swifty beer. Set to make its way to bars and restaurants across central Otago, the hybrid drink made in partnership with Wellington's Garage Project Brewery will soon be joining the taps on Friday. The beer got its name from the Swiftburn Creek that flows by the barley fields used for brewing, which is fitting, as Baggery believes Swifty is made to be drunk on a hot summer's day.
It's just a refreshing beer, and that's what I'd say would be key. You know, like instead of like pigeonholing it as, you know, it's this or that, and the next thing is it a lager, is it a pilsner, is it an ale, is it a pale ale, like, you know, well, like kind of what is it? And it's probably a mixture of all of that.
He says he always wanted to bring his own beer to the market, and the dream was made possible after moving to Royalburn Station near Arrowtown with his celebrity wife Nadia Lim. Their farming endeavour was made very public through their television series Nadia's Farm, which documented both highs and lows of their work on the land.
We've got 4,500 laid chickens. We have our own on-farm abattoir and butchery, so we're one of only a couple of farms really in Australasia that has their own on-farm abattoir and butchery. So we produce great meat, great lamb, great beef. And what else do we have? We got a market garden.
Wanting to share their slice of paradise with others, the couple will soon have a purpose-built wedding venue at the station. They want to offer a beautiful Central Otago experience, mixing the locally grown food and drinks with a view over Lake Wakatipu. In Queenstown, the South Today.
The wheels have been turning at a Dunedin museum as one of their most popular exhibits is set to return. Toitu Otago Settlers Museum is looking forward to welcoming the public back to the On the Move exhibition, which features vehicles from across the ages.
Stepping into this room full of exhibits and taking a motoring step back in time. Toitu Otago Settlers Museum has completed the refurbishment of its popular exhibition On the Move, which showcases the history of transport across the region. The upgrade's taken around 2 years to complete and features some new modern elements alongside some old favourites.
We sort of want to make it as dynamic as we can, so we've introduced a lot of new film footage, projections, that sort of thing. Hopefully people will notice the difference.
Toitu curator Peter Reid is in charge of the exhibition, which has been situated in the same room since the museum was redeveloped a decade ago. He believes adding horse-drawn vehicles and bicycles to the mix broadens the scope of history and helps tell the wider story of transport in Otago.
I guess there's a lot of nostalgia associated with transport, but the previous iteration of this gallery, in terms of the transport story, was focused very much on motoring.
Reid is looking forward to welcoming people through the fresh space from Thursday, giving them the opportunity to revisit their old favourites and check out some new wheels. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Wanaka's Lismore Park has had a makeover with a newly built bike track opening over the weekend. Local cyclists of all ages showed off their skills at the new facility in the community jump jam.
Breaking in the new track and proving you don't need wings to fly. Bike Wanaka held a party on 2 wheels on Saturday as the newly rebuilt Lismore Park Bike Park was officially opened, with music and cool tricks. More than 100 residents and their bicycles showed up for the celebration. Bike Wanaka President Ewan Mackey excited to show off the new facility.
We've got beginner lines right through to advanced lines, BMX and dirt jumping. We've got the mulch jump for progression, and we're having a big celebration.
The project cost more than $100,000. Bike club members helped to raise the funds alongside grants from the Queenstown Lakes District Council and Otago Community Trust.
The bike park is not just a facility, it's a space for riders to come together, push their limits and create lasting memories.
Mackey wants the space to be available for everyone in the Wanaka community, and there are plans for further development at the bike park underway. In Wanaka, the South Today.
Whai Yakane still to come on Southern Newsweek. One of the fastest growing sports in the world tickles the fancy of Gore residents, and tens of thousands of people welcomed Santa to Christchurch as the city's Christmas parade returns but moves location. Tēnā koe, welcome back. It's been a battle of the paddles in Southland this week as players from across the South Island competed in the region's first pickleball tournament. It's one of the fastest growing sports in the United States and is now making its mark in Gore.
It's not tennis, and it's not quite badminton. These players exchanging some shots at the first Southern Slam pickleball tournament in Gore. 16 pairs from across the south took to the town's multisport complex on Sunday, vying to become the competition's first ever winner. Organiser Dan Winkle says pickleball had been played in Gore since 2018, steadily growing in popularity over the years.
It's a fun, fast sport. It's just really, it's addictive. It's quite fun once you start playing it.
The game is played on a badminton-sized court with a net that's anchored to the floor, similar to tennis, as players use paddles to hit a modified ball. Winkle was excited to test his skills against some tough opponents from all around the southern regions.
And it's nice to have all the other cities and towns come in so we can all see how each other plays, and it's just different than our regular club days.
Winkle and his partner Kieran Lloyd came out on top in the competition's final, claiming the title as the first champions of the Southern Slam Pickleball Tournament. In Gore, the South Today.
Christchurch launched its festive season in style last Sunday with a colourful Santa parade and festival held at a new location for the first time. More than 30,000 people turned out to enjoy this year's parade, which returned to the city after a 4-year absence.
Colourful Christmas dances getting into the festive spirit. Christchurch's popular Christmas show parade returned to the city on Sunday, bigger and better than ever, following a 4-year break due to COVID and last year's rain cancellation.
We have all of the old traditional Santa Parade floats that date back 75 years. We've restored them all, fixed all the motors, and we've got some new ones. We've got 66 entries in the parade, all singing, all dancing, and they're looking beautiful.
There were Christmas floats for all tastes, featuring everything from a giant Mother Goose through to Disney princesses and traditional character favourites like the Mad Hatter.
Gotta go for the classic, we're all mad here.
Off with his head. Off with the heads.
Yes.
Blue skies and warm temperatures helped attract more than 35,000 people, young and old, with the festive event held at the Canterbury Agricultural Park for the first time. Rika says logistics meant rethinking the event and combining the parade with a festival.
We couldn't get the parade in the city. Christchurch has been designed in a way that it can now really host a parade. So we're having it here at the park, but we couldn't just bring people here to the park just for a parade. So we've had to supply entertainment.
The event's run by the Christchurch Children's Christmas Parade Trust, who want to re-establish it as Christchurch's premier Christmas celebration. Headline act Santa Claus arrived on time to an appreciative audience in Christchurch. The big man had to pull his appearance in Auckland on Saturday, following an incident during the Avondale Santa Parade, which saw a Burger Fuel branded car roll into 2 members of a brass band group. But Santa assured everyone he would still be checking off their present lists ahead of Christmas Day. In Christchurch, the South Today.
3 generations of a Dunedin family stepped into their golf course recently, swinging their clubs to raise money for an important cause. The trio were part of a number of ladies competing at a tournament over the weekend, helping support communities in need.
Taking a swing and making it look easy. Golf just naturally runs in the blood for this Dunedin family. Grandmother Kushlika Hoon, daughter Nicola Meader and granddaughter Millie Meader played together as a team at the 3rd Edinburgh Women's Golf Tournament on Friday. The trio were among 72 ladies competing at the Otago Golf Club and raising money for the Otago Community Hospice.
You don't need to know fully how to play golf, it's just
About having fun, isn't it? Yeah.
Kushla says the sport's been a lifelong passion and is happy seeing Nicola and Millie following in her footsteps.
We live right beside the golf course, so
Yeah, I think growing up beside the golf course.
Yeah,
that's the key, isn't it? Yeah,
I think
it's
so.
just something you always did.
The trio made the most of the chance to play together on the course and reckon it may be something rarer than a hole-in-one. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Queenstown was sprinkled with bright colours over the weekend for an event that brings a new meaning to Fun Run. Athletes of all ages eagerly took on the annual Rainbow Run, getting bombed as they do their bit to raise money for charity.
There's a rainbow in the air as this group of runners get covered in colourful powder for the annual night and day Rainbow Run on Saturday. Kids and parents took a leisurely 5-kilometre loop around Queenstown's Frankton Beach, sponsors lining up to bomb them with their favourite coloured cornstarch.
Blue. Pink. Yellow.
Natural.
Pink. I'd say the blue.
Purple.
And there was a lot of green,
Organisers say the warm weather drew about 300 people to the popular event.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Queenstown's really put on the nice warm weather. It hasn't been too hot. And yeah, the lake's been there.
The multi-hued group made their way to the lake after the run, cleaning up and cooling off before heading home. The funds raised from the event will go to Sporting Chance, a charity that helps disadvantaged youth get involved in sports. In Queenstown, the South Today.
The action was hot and fast in Timaru last weekend for the 9th annual Classic Action Motorcycle Sports Southern Classic. Riders and machines from across the country attended the 3-day gathering, coming together for their shared passion of old school bikes.
Bikers travelled from far and wide, all following their passion for the classic motorcycle racing. Riders of all ages and abilities took to the Levels Raceway near Timaru over the weekend to relive their past glories at the 9th annual CAMS Total Span Southern Classic. Aboard Triumphs, Hondas and Ducatis, along with many other old school brands, most were glad of the opportunity to hop on their bikes once more and get out and have some fun on the track.
The atmosphere of the event is fantastic. All the riders are very relaxed, and it's just a family fun atmosphere. We all camp in the pits and have a couple of drinks afterwards and very much enjoy the social side of the event.
The event allows everybody to have a go on the track, even if some were old pros at the racing game, like former road racer Jock Woodley enjoying some friendly racing at the Southern Classic.
And what I like about our particular situation is the beautiful older bikes and the fact that the people are allowed to come in and mix with you, ask questions, have a look at the bikes and all of that stuff.
One of the guest champion riders of the Classic was former 2 and 4 wheels national champion Johnny Hepburn, who believes the 3-day event is all about having fun.
Just go and catch up with a whole lot of good old friends that we met a long time ago and are still friends with to this day, and talk about how good we were or weren't and have a good skid around and ride one of our old bikes.
For many, the annual trip to Levels reignites their passion for classic motorcycle racing, helping to keep alive the love for the old racing machines. In Timaru, the South Today.
That wraps up this edition of Southern Newsweek. For the latest news and videos from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube and look for the South Today on Facebook to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again next week. Mā te wā.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.